Today we are with our expert Dr. Hemika Agrawal and try to find out in which conditions we have to go to the psychiatrist.
I am Dr. Hemika Agrawal. I am a psychiatrist practicing at Divya Institute of Behavioral Sciences, Ghaziabad, Noida, as well as Fortis, Noida.
If you have not subscribed our channel yet, then please subscribe our channel, like and share so that you can get the coming videos first. Before we proceed to the psychiatric issues, doctor, please explain the difference between the psychiatrist and the psychologist.
A psychiatrist is a person who has done MBBS, a 5.5 years course, and after that the person has done MD 3 years course in psychiatry. A psychiatrist can prescribe medicines and can also give psychotherapy, is trained in the field of psychotherapy as well. A psychologist is a person who has usually done his bachelor's and master's like BA or MA in psychology. Sometimes MPhil courses are also done, and such MPhil and clinical psychology trainees are known as clinical psychologists. So psychologists usually cannot prescribe medicines, they can do counseling or psychotherapy.
What type of cases handled by the psychiatrist?
Psychiatrists handle a variety and a spectrum of disorders ranging from disorders like depression, commonly called as depression, to severe mental disorders like schizophrenia, OCD, etc. But for a lay person, it is important to notice the symptoms or the signs which are present, and if the person detects those signs in self or other people early and visits a psychiatrist, a lot of morbidity and mortality can be saved.
How could we understand the term depression?
Depression is a term widely used as a blanket statement for a variety of conditions by common people. Many a times people with psychosis also are labeled as depression by lay people, and depressive disorders is not a single condition, it is a variety of conditions. The severity of depressive illnesses is also very important. Depressive episode is usually characterized by symptoms such as sadness, loss of interest in previously pleasurable activities, sometimes disturbance in sleep, appetite, sometimes ideas of self-harm or suicide, and any other withdrawn behavior or other symptoms.
How could we understand the term anxiety and how one can come out from this?
Anxiety is a state in which the worries are not productive. The worries are in excess of what is useful. A little amount of worry is not bad till it becomes productive and is giving some outcome, because that is also a motivating force for many people, a little worry. But when it becomes counterproductive and a person is not able to finish tasks because of it, then we say that it is anxiety and it needs help. The person suffering from such a condition needs help. There is pharmacological treatment, that is medicines which can be given for anxiety, as well as psychotherapy or counseling which can be given by a counselor or a trained psychotherapist.
Is there any specific age in which people may suffer with this?
There are no age limitations. These things can occur from very young children to geriatric patients and the elderly. But it is difficult in very young children. The presentation can be different. The presentation of depression can be different, and such anxiety disorders can be very different, and the training to detect is a little different and difficult. So the presentation changes, but yes, people of every age can suffer from these illnesses.
Is eating disorder also a part of psychiatric issues?
Eating disorders are a group of disorders in which the person suffers from psychiatric stress and illness, and the person at times has a distorted image of self, and the person either does not eat at all, like in anorexia nervosa, or the person binge eats and often vomits. That happens in bulimia nervosa. It is important that we should be very sensitive to their problems and take them to a mental health professional or a psychiatrist for help, possibly medications and counseling.
Is insomnia also treated by the psychiatrist?
Insomnia is lack of sleep or disrupted sleep. This is a very common sign and a presentation of many psychiatric problems. Many psychiatric problems present only with insomnia at the beginning, or they could be an add-on to a multiple variety of other problems. Like a person, even in substance use disorders, the disturbance of sleep is common. They can also suffer from insomnia. Psychotic patients can have insomnia or lack of sleep or disrupted sleep. Sometimes depressive disorders, anxiety disorders start with lack of sleep. So the cause of insomnia is important to be explored, and for that a person has to be brought to a psychiatrist or a mental health professional. And also, sometimes insomnia can be associated with obstructive sleep apnea. That also has to be seen. जैसे हम कहते हैं कि पैसेज जो रेस्पिरेटरी पैसेज है वो ब्लॉक होता है और उसकी वजह से सांस नहीं आती है. That is a serious condition that can lead to hypoxia of the patient while sleeping. So these things should be explored, and treatment of insomnia should not be done by the person himself or herself. People should refrain from going to the chemist and asking for pills for insomnia, because these pills can be very addictive. They should be given only under supervision by trained professionals or doctors. They should not be taken by themselves.
Is aggression a part of depression?
Exactly. Any sort of behavior change warrants examination of the person or a child by a trained mental health professional like a psychiatrist. The child is showing aggression. It can also be a manifestation of depression, because depression, as I mentioned, manifests differently in children. Sometimes children show externalizing symptoms like violence and irritability and aggression instead of sadness or verbally reporting that they are withdrawn.
How could we handle the suicidal thoughts and tendency?
See, if one has suicidal thoughts, it is a very serious thing. It is not to be taken lightly. If there is even a hint of a idea of suicidal wishes in a person or in a person we are familiar with, that person should immediately be taken to a psychiatrist or a mental health professional. And and this is a psychiatric emergency. We are trained in this, and this should not be handled by the lay people on their own.
If we take this type of cases, especially in children,
See, as we have already discussed, if a person has attempted suicide or is voicing his beliefs or thoughts or ideas of suicide, that case has to be taken seriously and referred to a mental health professional. But in general, to reduce the incidence of occurrence of these things, we can have counseling and psychologists in the school, as well as liaising with the psychiatrist from a very early age. Teachers should also be motivated and educated about the psychiatric or psychological illnesses and disorders, so that they can detect presence of stress or anxiety issues in the children or any other psychiatric comorbidity and refer them to for appropriate treatment. So this is very important, and this is a preventive measure for suicides in children and students.
how could family or society help?
Family members are the major caregivers and first line support system for such people who suffer from any psychiatric illness. People with depression usually have a tendency not to seek help. They'll try not to trouble others, they'll blame themselves for the problems, and they'll not seek help. So to recognize that they are suffering from possibly a depressive disorder and to take them to a psychiatrist or a doctor is very essential, and the role of family members becomes very important. Sometimes in patients like psychotic disorders, there can be symptoms like violence, suspiciousness, self-harm. These things should also be, they are usually detected by the family members, and if they are sensitized and they are aware that these are symptoms of a possible mental illness, they'll take the person to the mental health professional. So we can help these persons by increasing awareness, and like we are doing right now, by spreading awareness in the society about mental health issues. And if symptoms of mental health issues are propagated or are told and people are made aware of them, then possibly people suffering from them can directly and indirectly be helped.
Have you find any changes in human behavior due to this pandemic situation?
Definitely, we all have seen increased morbidity, and anxiety disorders have increased in the population. The presence of PTSD has been a hot topic of debate in many scientific forums right now. Many people who suffered from COVID, as well as those who had COVID patients in their home, relive the trauma of it every day, and many of them are still scared. And anxiety disorders during COVID were at a peak, and even now patients do come with these symptoms and concerns about catching COVID. People who do not have COVID also at times report anxiety because of the fear of catching COVID. Excess watching of news and uncensored news on WhatsApp or social media, which is not censored or monitored, also results in increased anxiety, many a times because of false information. We would suggest that please go and follow the proper government guidelines. For information, see proper channels which are regulated. Not just WhatsApp or social or Facebook should be used for news, especially COVID-related news. For real information, government information portals should be used, or reported media should be the one which we should rely on.
Friends, if you are willing to get such an important information on various topics, please subscribe our channel, click the like button and share this link with your family and friends so that they can also benefit it from such an important information.